Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have asked. You have asked quite a few questions. I did not expect to get this many, to be perfectly honest, but I will endeavor to answer them all right now as succinctly and quickly as possible. So let's get right to it. What game series do you think is the best? Halo. Yeah, I know you've seen the Halo shirts. I'm not wearing one today. I'm actually wearing Zelda, but you've seen the Halo shirts, so I guess people have started to kind of whisper and giggle a bit, but I am a big fan of Halo, and it's for no particular, deep reason. It's just I grew up with it. It got me through middle school. It's just a series that I loved. I loved playing it. I loved playing with people online. It's what got me into multiplayer. It's just an awesome series. I love Halo. I love the Master Chief. I love the story. I love Cortana. I love the books. I've read all the books pretty much. I'm a big Halo fan, and Halo is my favorite series. What game series do you think ended or turned out the worst? I don't have a lot of experience with this because all the game series I follow seem to be going fairly well. But if I had to pick one out, I would say Banjo and Kazooie. That's kind of an obvious answer, right? I mean, a lot of people probably agree with me, but Nuts and Bolts, from my understanding, was pretty bad. Although, since I'm not really a big fan of Banjo and Kazooie, I can't really speak on it very well. I guess out of all the games that I've ever played, the game series that has turned out the worst for me was Final Fantasy. And I know some people are going to agree with me on this one too. I liked Final Fantasy 13. I was one of the people that was saying, this isn't as bad as people are making it out to be. It at least has a pretty compelling story, despite being really linear and really boring and really hard at times. But then they made Final Fantasy 13 too, and then we have no idea where Final Fantasy Versus is, this other one that was talked about. And Final Fantasy 14, the online game, was, borderline bad when it first was released to beta, and they keep trying to make it better, but they keep failing, and I just don't know what is going on with Final Fantasy right now. It's just like, what the fuck are they doing? To be perfectly honest, I just... Can they get their act together, please? What are your thoughts on nihilism? And I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I know what nihilism is, but I've never heard anyone else pronounce it, so I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I was a nihilist when I was in middle school. And it's kind of a shitty way to live, to be perfectly honest. Right now, I'm not a nihilist anymore. I do think that things have inherent meaning. I think people have inherent meaning, and I think humans are pretty important in the scheme of things. Because if we don't think of ourselves that way, if we don't think from that perspective, we'll never achieve greater things. We've never found life outside of our own, or intelligent life outside of our own, anywhere other than Earth. So right now, we should feel pretty highly about ourselves, and we should strive to be this awesome entity. We should strive to do awesome things. And if we don't, then we'll keep being meaningless. So I do think things have meaning. I'm not a nihilist. However, I am a nihilist when it comes to specific things in my life. I am a political nihilist. I was very enthusiastic on the political spectrum for a while, but now I'm a nihilist. I think that nothing is going to get done, and I have a pretty hopeless outlook on politics. But I won't get into that on this channel. I have my own vlog channel, and I might give that out soon. I don't know. Anyways, let's move on to the next question. Who are your favorite video game characters, both male and female? Well, the Master Chief and Cortana are kind of my obvious picks, but I'm going to go ahead and put them aside for now. I mean, it's just unfair for me to pick them because Halo, hello, I love Halo. But aside from them, Cole Phelps is my favorite male character from L.A. Noire, and I want to say Jenny from Darkness, the game. Darkness 2, she has less of a role in, but even in that game, I loved her. But Jenny, yeah, Jenny from the Darkness series. Darkness 1 and Darkness 2. God damn. You just get so connected with her. She's the only female role I ever remember actually getting super connected to in a video game. Jenny from the Darkness. That's my answer. I should have put this one closer to the end, but I got asked, tits or ass? He apparently must know. Well, this is a difficult one because I actually don't have an answer. I'm not sure if I have a preference. Who am I kidding? I do. Ass, of course. Do you play Ratchet and Clank, Jak, or Sly Cooper? I have never played a Ratchet and Clank game in my life, apart from a demo, I think. I have played Jak 2 and Jak 3, both of which are some of my favorite games of all time. I loved Jak. I grew up with Jak. I remember staying home from school, like, I was genuinely sick, and I stayed home from school for like 3 days, having some of the worst sickness ever. I played Jak 2 through all 3 of those days, and I was fine on the 4th day, but I still stayed home from school. I milked that shit. I milked that shit for 3 extra days. I got 6 days off of school playing Jak 2. All day long. And that was one of my happiest memories from my childhood, and I remember it fondly. Sly Cooper, I like even more than Jak, and have played even more than Jak. My first PlayStation 2 game was the first Sly Cooper, and I loved Sly Cooper. It was one of my favorite games of all time. Now, I then bought Sly 2 and Sly 3, and I didn't like them. I don't know why, I just didn't like them. I played them, I beat 3, I almost beat 2, but I got bored near the end. But something about the first Sly Cooper, and even to this day, I have gone back and played Sly 1, and I just love the first Sly Cooper so much, and I just connect with it on such a level, and yet I still don't really like the second and third game. I don't know why. If anyone knows why, or can shed some light on this subject, please comment below, because I really don't. I just love the first Sly Cooper, and the 2 and 3 just, I couldn't play it. I have not played 4 yet. I have not tried 4. I'm sorry. I want to, but just haven't got around to it. What things make a game for you? What balance of ingredients? This is a really hard question to answer, to be perfectly honest. I guess I'll just run down the things that make a game good, because I don't know what makes a game. What makes a game is just an interactive experience. It's pretty broad for me. But what makes a game good, what balance of ingredients, is graphics that are at least viewable for the time. Graphics that don't hurt your eyes, okay? Preferably average for the time, but you can get away with a lot with me. I don't really care much for graphics. The biggest component for me is the gameplay. How fun is it? How engaging is it? Because if I can't have fun with the game, I'm not going to play it for very long. Let me put it that way. I am super picky when it comes to that. If a game does not, if I'm not having fun in the first like 20 minutes, I give up. I just throw it to the curb. I cannot stand playing games that I'm not immediately having fun with. So sometimes I initially miss some really good games just because it didn't catch me right off the bat, and that's one of my faults in my opinion. But usually the best games out there do catch you right off the bat. Halo is a prime example, one of my favorite games of all time. It gets you right in the action, but also has a lot of depth to it as far as the story is concerned. BioShock, it doesn't get you right into the fight, but they have this part where you're going up this lighthouse, right? And everything in there is just so interesting and intriguing, and it pulls you in, and like you get shot into the sky, and you find this big world that's just crazy interesting as a game world, and then you get dunked and drowned in a river, and then you come up and you're like, that was weird, and it's just so interesting right off the bat. So many cool things are going on that just capture your attention, like, shit, I want to know more about this. What is this? This is cool. And that's what I love. I love game flow. Game flow is so important for me. If a game is just boring and doesn't grab your attention in the beginning, maybe it's just not worth playing. I don't know. A prime example of this being really important and actually making a not so good game good in my eyes is Singularity. If you have never played Singularity, go out and get it. You can probably pick it up for like $10 because no one ever bought it. Singularity just flows so well and captures your attention right off the bat, and it's just so interesting that you forget all the minor flaws. It is a really awesome first-person shooter that almost no one really played. It was just, kind of kicked to the curb. No one played it. It wasn't popular. It got like a 7.5 or something. It's a really good game. It's just no one gave it the time of day because it wasn't very polished. But you should go check that out. That is a perfect example of what makes a game for me. Other elements that make a game are sound. I really love when a game has great music, you know, orchestral stuff. I like meaningful games, games that get across a message. I like games that have interesting new mechanics that have never been tried before. I like fresh games. I like games that connect to the audience well, such as indie games. They're really personal and really connecting when it comes to connecting to what the developers were trying to make you feel. I just like those type of games, personal games. I don't know why, I just do. What is your favorite game of all time? I want to say Halo 2, and I know Halo's coming up on this list a lot. Big deal. It's my favorite franchise. I love Halo. I grew up with Halo. It's one of my, it's one of my defining characteristics. I'm a Halo fan. I guess if you look at other people that love Star Wars and they have Darth Vader all over their fucking room and they want to be a Sith Lord, Mr. Epsilon, I'm looking at you. If you look at those Star Wars fans, I am just as big a Halo fan as they are a Star Wars fan. Halo is my thing. And you can fault me all you want for that, but I'm not a 12-year-old kid, okay? I love Halo for not for those reasons. I love Halo because I grew up with it, because it's a defining thing for me. I played Halo 2 for an entire summer and every school day after that. It was the game I constantly went back to. Even when the 360 came out, it was the most played game on the 360 for a while. Like, pretty much until Halo 3 came out, Halo 2 was the most played online game. It was just a huge game. It is the reason the Xbox succeeded. Halo 1 and 2 made the Xbox. The Xbox probably would have failed along with Xbox Live if it wasn't for Halo. And let's face it, that's pretty much true. I think even Microsoft wouldn't deny that. Halo is what made the Xbox, and I love Halo. Favorite game is really hard to nail down, so I'm just going to go with Halo 2, because I can't think of what it would be other than that. Halo 2 is just the immediate thing that comes to mind. If you have to have something besides that, Elder Scrolls Oblivion. I got hooked on Elder Scrolls Oblivion, also played the absolute shit out of that, have over 2,000 logged hours. So Oblivion, if not Halo, but Halo otherwise. Halo 2 in specific, because I like Halo 2 the most out of Halo 2 and 1. There you go. What is your favorite movie genre? Why would you ask that? Why would you ask that? It's obviously horror. Obviously. You need to go back and you need to watch my The Evil Within response, because I'm pretty sure I made it obvious in that video. I love horror movies. Horror is my favorite genre. Favorite. I noticed that no one asked what my favorite movie was. It's kind of weird. You asked what my favorite genre is, but not my favorite movie. I actually know my favorite movie. My favorite movie is Back to the Future. I love Back to the Future. God damn, that's an awesome movie. And people try to tell me all the time, the best movie trilogy is Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is totally the best movie trilogy. Wrong. 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 Back to the Future is the best trilogy. And you debate me all day long, but I'm going to stick to that fact right now. I don't even want to do this anymore. I want to go watch Back to the Future, to be perfectly honest, but I guess I'll soldier on. Do you wear glasses for eyesight or fashion? How bad are your eyes if it's for eyesight? Sometimes I forget that people wear them for fashion, and to me, it's just dumb. Why would you want constantly to have something on your face if you don't need it? Like, it's annoying. You know, getting up in the morning and like going over to my computer screen and reading stuff, I'm like, what's that say? Shit, I'll go get my glasses, and I have to go put them on. I don't even want to wear these damn things. I mean, yeah, I look pretty cool in them. Okay, maybe that's the case. Maybe people think I look cool in them, but who would want to wear glasses if they don't have to? To me, when I turn 21, if I can afford it, I am getting laser surgery. I am getting LASIK surgery right off the bat when I turn 21 if I can afford it, because I don't really like wearing glasses. And I don't know if you noticed this, I haven't been using this green screen a lot. That's because the reflection in my glasses is green. So holes get generated in my eyes when I use green screen. Yeah, kind of annoying, don't you think? But yes, these are because I can't see. I have terrible vision. Well, not really terrible. I just can't read words. Like, if I took this off, there's a calendar behind my camera. I can't read a damn thing on it. If I turn around and look at that poster, I can't even read Combat Evolved right there, you know? My vision, I'm nearsighted, so I can see all the detail up to about here, and then after that it starts fading off. But I always hated in those, like, children's cartoons, like the Rugrats and Scooby-Doo, where they drop their glasses on the ground like, help, I can't see without my glasses. How many games do you have on Steam? I got on the Steam train a little late. I mean, I've had Steam forever, but I never got any games on it because I always played my games on Xbox. I have hundreds of games for the Xbox 360 and PS2, Xbox Original, N64. I've got like 40 of those. So I have a lot of physical copies of games. I got on the Steam bandwagon a little late, so I only have like 68. I think, Steam games, and they're mostly from the Humble Bundle. I have bought like every Humble Bundle. I love the Humble Bundle. It's fucking awesome. If you don't know what the Humble Bundle is, go to humblebundle.com. It's the coolest shit you've ever seen, honestly. Just go check it out. I don't know. Favorite moments in gaming. I can't resist. I'm going back to the Halo thing. Halo 3, the launch of Halo 3 was so epic and big. It was on the news. It was so big, it was newsworthy, like public media newsworthy, like Channel 2 worthy. You know, Call of Duty, yeah, they sell millions and millions and millions of copies each year, but there's still not nearly as much emotion to each Call of Duty launch as there was for Halo 3. Halo 3 was iconic, because everyone thought that was the end of it. They thought that was going to be the end of Halo, and Halo 4 wasn't as big emotion-wise, but Halo 3, God, that was the launch, man. That was the launch. My favorite moment in gaming. Now, if I had to put some up there with that, the launch of Skyrim was pretty big. When they announced the Halo 4 launch, or when they announced that Halo 4 was happening, I thought that was pretty big. It was like Microsoft did a really shitty conference, and then they're like, wait, guys, wait, hold on, we're not done yet. Halo 4! And that kind of like saved the conference for me. It saved it from being like a horrible memory in my mind. Otherwise, I would have like gone and taken a shower and be like, ugh, I'm unclean. But no, they ended it with Halo 4, so I'm like, woo! And I didn't have these scars all over my brain because of that shitty fucking conference that I would have had. For me, I guess probably the launch of the last console generation, the launch of the 360, the launch of the PS3, the launch of the Wii. Those were all pretty big moments, I guess. I mean, I wanted a PS3 like hell. I so wanted that console, and I didn't get it till a month after it came out because the lines were so long. And I only got it a month after because I got really, really lucky. The Wii I bought off of eBay for a steal at the time. It was a week after it came out. I got it for like $400. The 360 I got like 3 months after it came out, so I was a little late on that one, but the last console generation, when it launched, it was a huge thing. The Wii U wasn't such a huge thing for me. I got it a few weeks after it came out, and it was kind of like, no games on it. Who fucking cares, right? So I don't know how the PS4 and the Xbox One launch are going to be, but it'll be interesting to see, that's for sure. Oh my god, I don't know how I didn't remember this. Okay, fuck all the other things I said. The biggest moment in gaming for me was when they announced Skyrim. Okay, do you guys remember this shit? Do you remember this shit? Okay, I had been playing Oblivion for years. 2,000 hours locked. 2,000. And I had been saying for months to my friends, where's the next Elder Scrolls game? 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 When are they going to do it? Bethesda, get your heads out of your asses. Fallout isn't cool. No one cares about Fallout. It was alright. I liked it, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Then you make New Vegas, and where the fuck is the next Elder Scrolls game? Where is it? And then I remember seeing it in my Google alerts pop up. Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. And I went and watched that trailer. When the gates of Oblivion were opened, and the sons of Skyrim will spill their own blood. And then it builds up, and then you see the dragon on the wall, and there's like fires coming out of it, and there's a guy down here holding his shield up. He's like, well, dawn and fire. And it's like, Dovahkiin, Dovahkiin, and it starts playing this song, and you see the credits come, it's like Skyrim, and it's like 11, 11, 11. You're like, holy shit, this is awesome. My God, this is what we've been waiting for. Oh my Jesus, what the... This is the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. That's honestly how I felt about this Skyrim announcement. I'm not kidding. I really was that enthusiastic. I spent the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, months just craving it, reading every piece of information I could find about Skyrim. I was telling my friends about it. I was constantly talking about it. I was constantly saying, I hope this is in the game. I hope this is in the game. I hope this is in the game. I want this to be in the game. Oh, this should be in the game. That'd be awesome. And I just waited. And waited. And waited. How long have you been a whore? And what corners do you serve? I've wanted to do this for a long time. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, ho, 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 yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. What got you into doing YouTube videos? Back in, I think it was 2007 or 2006, I made my first video. It was a mashup of a bunch of clips from Halo, and it got like 40,000 views out of nowhere. And I was like, that's kind of cool. I like that. I like this site. This is a really neat site. So I started doing what I like to do, which is program. I was a programmer. I still am a programmer to this day, mostly with web development. So I started teaching people in video form how to program in Visual Basic, C#, PHP, different things like that. And I've been paid for it before. I've made tutorials for other websites and been paid for it. So I think I'm pretty good at that. But ultimately, I don't have as much fun doing that as I do gaming videos. So that's why I started this gaming channel with my friend Chetwin. And that's actually another question on this list. What got you into doing gaming videos in specific? So I'll go ahead and answer that here. What got me into doing gaming videos in particular is that I just love gaming. I've always had a passion for it, and I always got into debates and talked to people about it and watched all the events, and I attended things that were gaming based. I had lots of LAN parties with my friends growing up. I just played video games all the fucking time. It's a big thing in my life. It's a huge part of my life. It informs my personality. It informs me as a person. And I wanted to do videos. I love making videos. I'm so passionate about making videos. And after the tutorial thing was done, I was like, what really do I want to do now? And gaming came up. I had a friend that wrote gaming articles with me on a website that I made called Game System X. Or we both came up with the name, but I made a website called the PC Takeover way back in the day. So we used that website to host this Game System X articles, and we wrote game articles, game reviews, that sort of thing. And the people we showed it to liked it, so we decided to make a YouTube channel. Me and Chetwood. I had the know-how with YouTube, and he was really interested in the prospect of playing games for people's entertainment as a hobby. And so we made this game binge thing, and I started doing the vlogs because I love talking to people. That's what I did back on my other channel. And we hired on a bunch of different people to, make gameplays for us and to also do vlogs, hopefully soon, once they get the equipment. And we hired other people to do other things, and it just kind of grew from there. Now we have a nice little group of people that make gameplay commentaries, vlogs, reviews, you name it really, in the gaming medium. We just love video games, and that's what we do these videos for. Me personally, I got into the gaming video thing because I was inspired by a show called Unforgotten Realms, which was an animated show made by Robert Morin. You can go check out his website. It's urealms.com. When he got bored of doing animation or didn't have time for it or whatever, he started doing these Let's Play videos. And he did them way before they were popular on YouTube. And I used to watch them, and I'm like, why do people not do this on YouTube? This should be totally done. And I kind of tried my hand on it at the other channel I make, Zylogeist, but I wasn't really good at it at first. So I started building and building and building my personality and trying to be better at it, and by now they're all over the place on YouTube. So we're trying to compete with the huge masses of people doing it, but ultimately what sets us apart from them is that we do vlogs, we do reviews, not just gameplay. Gameplay is our kind of supplementary stuff. We do that just for fun. It's not really meant to gain like thousands of views. It's just for fun, you know? For fun. What do you enjoy most about doing YouTube videos? It would be easier to answer what I enjoy least, to be perfectly honest, and that is the editing. My God, the editing can be horrendously long and tedious sometimes. But what I like most is one of two things. In my review this videos, I love the writing process, coming up with the dialogue I'm going to say and then voicing it. I love, you know, just trying to be entertaining with it, trying to play around with the words until they sound right, until it, you know, gets a laugh out of the audience, until I voice it just right. So it comes through that, you know, where I go to the bottom of my throat and I kind of do that sound where you get a lot of detail and grain in the back of it. And then I scale it up with the equalization on my audition program. And I just do a lot of little things to try and make my voiceovers really nice and neat and not annoying to your ears. But what I ultimately like most about making YouTube videos is the comments. I love going and reading comments that you guys leave down below. That's why I ask in every vlog video to leave a comment, because that's my favorite part of the YouTube experience. I love waking up in the morning, going to my Gmail, and seeing like 10 new emails from YouTube saying, you got a new comment, and then going and reading it. Even when it's negative, you know, I love responding to comments even if they're negative, because it gives me a chance to connect and personalize, or get personal with the audience. And I don't know, it's awesome, because in real life I mean, now I have a lot more friends, but I used to not have a lot of friends. I grew up as a person who was very individual, very separated from the group mentality. So being able to connect with people on a personal level is really cool, because I never did that growing up. And only recently have I started doing that a lot more. Is there anything you prefer about consoles over PC gaming? The controller. And I know you can plug those into the PC also, but I just love the idea of getting on my couch in front of the TV with a controller in my hand and just playing video games. I love being in a video game-centric environment. And with PC gaming, you can do that if you have the right setup. I have an awesome gaming computer back there, and I have a towel over it right now because it makes loud sounds with the fan. It's actually turned off right now for this video, but this is my baby. 16 gigs of RAM. 16 gigs, that'll, you know, there's people that brag about having more, but I built this 2 years ago. Oh yeah, 16 gigs of RAM 2 years ago was a big deal. And I have not upgraded it yet because I see no reason to. 16 gigs has completely done everything I need it to do. I got dual 560s in here, NVIDIA 560s dual on SLI. They're TI frozers, so they have these nice cooling vents and like tubing. It's just, oh my God, I love building computers, and this is my baby right here. I got like 8 or 9 fans on there. I've got a Hyper 212 cooler on the CPU. I build these things custom. I put lots of detail. I sit down on my rug in the living room, and I just spread all the parts all over the floor, and I put it together nice and lovingly. I practically make love to each part and get to know my computer while it's being built, and be nice and sensual with it. I get to know my computer. I treat it right, because this thing has got to survive me a long time. You know, $1,400 is a lot of money to me, and that's how much I spent on this baby. A lot of people will build a computer that's $3,000 or $4,000, and it'll be outdated in months. And plus, I went just the right places to get these parts. This computer for anyone else probably would have cost you like $3,000. So believe me, I love PC gaming, but there's some things about console gaming that just lure me in. But still. Do you prefer multiplayer or single-player gaming? A few years ago, I would have said, like, in an instant, multiplayer. I love multiplayer. I love pwning some noobs and go and just taking those fuckers out, but not anymore. I'm a single player gamer now almost exclusively. I hardly ever play multiplayer games. I'm an immersion type of person. I just close myself off from the outside world with my headset on, close the door, turn my internet off sometimes, and just game. I'm just really immersion based, and single player has that going for it, so I don't know what else to tell you. Do you still play Pokemon? No. I don't. I played Pokemon up till Pokemon Emerald, and I had Emerald almost entirely beat. I had like practically every Pokemon up to the 3rd generation, including all the legendaries. I had, you know, Deoxys and pretty much anything you can think of, Lugia, Ho-Oh, whatever. And I had all the starters leveled up to level 100. I had my favorites leveled up to 100. Metagross is my favorite. Lugia, obviously, my favorite Pokemon of all time. I had that leveled up to 100. But I just spent a lot of time leveling the Pokemon I really cared about up to 100. And I beat most of the Battle Frontier. And then someone stole my Game Boy DS. And I know the DS isn't called Game Boy, but I will forever call handheld consoles made by Nintendo Game Boy consoles. The Game Boy DS, the Game Boy 3DS, because to me, it's got to be a Game Boy. But I was playing Emerald in my DS, I left it down somewhere, someone stole it, and I never saw it again. That is one of the tragedies of my life, getting my Emerald stolen, because Emerald is my birthstone. I was born in May. So I spent a lot of time on Emerald. I transferred all my Sapphire and Ruby and Fire Red and Leaf Green and all that stuff onto Emerald. And I put all my heart and soul into Emerald. And it didn't pay off because it got stolen. After that, I was so soured on Pokemon, I stopped playing it. I didn't play Diamond or Pearl, I think is what they're called. Yeah, and Black and White. I never played any of those. Just never did it. I didn't have a DS anymore. Didn't want to buy a new one. Didn't get the time to play it. Sorry. I don't play Pokemon anymore. I just don't. There's your answer. Have you ever played Animal Crossing? If so, what do you think? Are you excited for Animal Crossing New Leaf? I have never played an Animal Crossing game. I have played the Animal Crossing minigame on Wii U, Nintendo Land, that's what it's called. I have played Animal Crossing, the minigame on Nintendo Land, which obviously is nothing like the real game, I'm sure. But I'm sorry, I've never played Animal Crossing. New Leaf, I was going to request as a press copy from Nintendo so I could give it a try and maybe review it. But Nintendo is really hard to get in contact for people like me, so I just ultimately gave up. And one of the people working at Game Binge, Gina, the Jolly Green Gamer, Gina loves that game, Animal Crossing. And she is so hyped for Animal Crossing New Leaf. She wants to play it. She doesn't have a 3DS, but she really, really, really wants to play it. And she is totally hyped. So I can understand the hype behind it. I know people personally who are hyped for it. And it looks kind of interesting. Do you work or go to school? Where for what? I do work. And where, you ask? Right here on YouTube. That's right. YouTube is my job. I don't make a lot of money from it, but YouTube is my passion, and my ultimate goal in life is to work as my passion. To have my job be my passion. I don't want to be one of those people that goes to work every day hating it and wishing they weren't there. I want to be the type of person who loves what they do, and I love making videos. Now, I also am enrolled in college, but I'm not going right now. Well, obviously it's the summer, but I went to the first 2 quarters of college at Rochester Institute of Technology in New York. I quit out halfway through my second quarter because I wanted to work on my YouTube channel. I wanted to work on my personal life. I couldn't handle college at the time. I didn't want to be involved in college. I didn't have the time for college. So I took a leave of absence. I put my scholarship on hold, and I told them I'd be back. I am now re-enrolled and going to continue my education at Rochester Institute of Technology in the next academic year from 2013 to 14. I'm just going to be taking classes online for a while. This is so I have more time to work on YouTube with you lovely ladies and gentlemen. YouTube is my passion, and I'm going to spend as much time as I possibly can developing that passion. So thanks for making it happen, all of you. I genuinely am happy that you are here. I am so happy that people like you support this, because I don't know what I would do in life if you didn't. What is your favorite single-player game and multiplayer game? Multiplayer would have to be Halo 2, like I said earlier. It just had a fucking fine multiplayer system. One of the finest of all time. My goodness, just incredible. Single-player game, Elder Scrolls Oblivion. And I know a lot of people think that's the weakest Elder Scrolls game. Why? I'm not exactly sure. I thought it was awesome. I'm sorry, but the characters just connected with me so much. I know they're goofy at times, but they're fucking cool. And I know they say the same lines over and over again, but I would, even though I'm totally done with that character, I would get on my horse, I'd ride back to them and just go see them again, just to hear them say that line again. Just, I don't know, just something about that game. I got really connected to it as a kid, and I'm still connected to it. I can still fire it up every day and go back and see Joffrey and listen to him deliver that line again and be like, it's Joffrey. He's talking to me. That's cool. That's cool. What do you think of MMORPGs? I haven't played an MMO in a long time. I like them. They can be fun, but they're not really my type of game lately. I don't know. I can't really play them. I've played a lot of free-to-play MMOs. I've only played one pay-to-play MMO, and that was World of Warcraft, as everyone else has, but I've played a lot of free-to-plays. I've played MapleStory, Vindictus, Hero Online. I've played Tales of Pirates, just a lot of free-to-play games, a huge amount. So many I cannot remember them all. There's just tons. Because there was a time where I would come home from school, my friends would have a new free-to-play MMO to play, and I would hop on and play it with them. We'd get bored of it in a week and then go to the next one. It was just something we did. It was kind of fun, to be perfectly honest. The only MMO I ever stuck with for a long time was MapleStory and Vindictus. I am level 68 in Vindictus. I play as an Eevee, and I have the Succubus transformation, and my character is badass. She's really cool. I am a mage of some sort in MapleStory with a level 60 something, I think. Yeah, level 60 something, and it's a mage. I forget what type of mage. Lightning, I think, something like that. But anyways, yes, I do play MMORPGs, but do I like them? It depends. I've had good experiences, I've had bad experiences. I just hate the grindy feel of them. But when they're cute, when they're funny and cute and cool, or any of those things, then I will like them and I will play them. I love MapleStory. It's so cute. I love MapleStory. It's adorable. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I'm sorry. It's one of my guilty pleasures. I love MapleStory so much. How do I feel about companies like Microsoft doing reputation management on sites like Reddit? Well, the story about Microsoft is unconfirmed. It's a rumor. It's something that an unknown source has brought up. It's probably true. Yeah, it's probably true. You know, according to a lot of people. I personally think it's probably true, like I just said. But how do I feel about it? Negatively is the only way to put it. I mean, this is kind of a weird question. I mean, who wouldn't feel negatively? Like, if you're trying to inflate your reputation by, you know, on the internet by doing these really fake things, then it just looks bad, right? I mean, fake reputation is not good. it's not a good representation of what you are. If you just pay people to like you, if you pay people to feel good about you, you don't want that. You want an audience, you want a fan base that likes you for who you are, and Microsoft should know better than that. Nintendo has an audience that likes them for who they are, and I think their audience is kind of misguided to like a company just because it keeps providing them the same first-party titles over and over and over again, but at least Nintendo knows their audience and does not have to inflate it. They know their audience well and does what their audience wants them to do. And Apple does the same thing. They know their audience. They don't have to inflate them. They try to keep creating products that their audience likes. And trying to make an artificial audience, that's just low. So, if you're doing that, Microsoft, I know you don't care what I have to say, but boom, right here, just for you. If you could date any video game character, who would it be? Catherine, with a C. What do you think about Windows Vista? This is kind of a strange question to ask right out of the blue. I had Windows Vista on my first laptop, and actually the first laptop that was mine. I've used laptops before that as a household thing, but the first laptop I owned myself was a Windows Vista laptop, and I liked it. A lot of people didn't like Vista, but I didn't have that many problems with it. It seemed to work fine. The user account control whatever thing was annoying as fucking hell, but overall it was a decent operating system. I had little problems with it. I can tell you Windows 8 I'm not too thrilled about. I still have not put Windows 8 on anything I own, and I probably won't for a long time, if ever. Have you played Skyrim with the Frostfall mod? I was pretty active on the Skyrim modding community, as you can tell by my Skyrim rant earlier. I installed the Skyrim Total Enhancement Project, which is a huge, massive list of Skyrim mods that you have to... It takes literally a day to install all of these mods. It's so long and arduous of a process. But if you can successfully do it, your Skyrim will look and play like a fucking beast. It'll just be so incredible. And Frostfall mod was one of them. However, I did not get to try out Frostfall mod that much. I used Skyrim Total Enhancement Project a total of 3 times. 2 times Frostfall wasn't in it. The 3rd time it was, but I did not play Skyrim much after installing the whole thing. So I have not had a lot of experience with the Frostfall mod, but I know what it's about. I know what it does. It's really cool. It's this awesome survival mod. For those of you who don't know about it, it adds like hypothermia. You have to set up like campfires and stuff. You can't just like run across the tundra and expect to live. You have to actually, do survival things and pay attention to your surroundings. It's really, really cool. Are you single? This question has come up quite a few times, and it's made me a little uneasy, I must admit. I hope this doesn't ruin our relationship together, ladies. I hope you can still watch the videos and be subscribed and enjoy my content, but I regret to inform you that I'm actually quite engaged. I have a fiance. Her name is Gina, and this is a picture of her. I love her very much, and my engagement ring does not fit on my ring finger, so I wear it on my pinky occasionally. I think I might have done a video with it on once or twice, I can't remember, but no, I am not single. I apologize to all of the women in the world that are let down by this. I have one more question to answer, but it's not on the list. It was not asked by anyone, but I feel like I need to answer it anyway. Someone was leaving a couple of comments on my BioShock and my Metro Last Light review saying that I lost all credibility because I gave BioShock a 10 and I gave Last Light an 8. So I'm going to go ahead and answer the question, how do I do my reviews? And how should they be seen? How should they be looked upon? How do I arrive at the number, blah, 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 etc. just in general, what goes into my reviews and what do they mean. I don't review things like other reviewers, okay? I don't review things like IGN or Destructoid or Kotaku or anyone outside of me. I don't get a piece of paper and play the game with my little noteboard here and write down, oh, here's a plus. Pro, the AI is good. Plus, the graphics are good. Plus, the characters are good. Oh, there's a negative. Negative. Bugs are bad. No. I don't write down all the pluses and minuses and then tally up the number and put them into a calculation and get like the numbers like beep, 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 boop, and then it spits out a number 8 out of 10. This game is an 8 out of 10 based on the information you put in. No. I don't go by a calculation. I sit down with the fucking controller in my fucking hand like this in front of the TV. I play the game for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours, however many hours it takes for me to get a good understanding of the game. And usually that means beating the game. With Dead Island, I didn't beat the game. I got pretty close, but I spent like 12 or 15 hours on it. I spent 10 hours on BioShock Infinite. I spent easily 12 hours on Metro Last Light. The only games I didn't spend a lot of time on were Tomb Raider and Gears, and those are my least favorite reviews. I beat Gears, took about 7 hours. Tomb Raider I didn't even beat, spent like 6 hours on that. So those are my least favorite reviews out of all the ones I've done, but they were also the first ones I did. I made a lot of mistakes. When I review games, I just sit down and play them. I make little notes, not like pluses or minuses. I just make notes on where the timestamp is for the recording, because I'm always recording when I'm playing, and I make a note, like, at this timestamp, a bug happened, or at this timestamp, there's a really cool boss battle, and I take that footage, I compile it, I edit it where it needs to be, I write a script based on how I felt about the game, I reflect on my experience, I write the script, I voice it, and I try to, capture the same emotion I had when I was playing it. When I get frustrated in my voiceover, I was actually frustrated in the game. Remember me, I got frustrated about the really annoying camera. The camera was so fucking annoying in the game, and that frustrated me time and time again, and that's why I was frustrated in the review. I don't just make this shit up. When I played BioShock and I did the review, I do these reviews before the game comes out, so I have no idea what other reviewers are going to say about it. I have no clue what other reviewers are going to say. I just play the game, go by my experience, and then I say what happened to me. What good things happened, what bad things happened. The number I give at the end, the 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10, that doesn't matter. The number is almost meaningless. I just give an arbitrary number that feels right at the time. And most of the numbers I look back on and I say, that probably wasn't right. Because numbers are not good representations of what games are good and what games aren't. Game reviewing is all subjective, okay? With good games, you can't really tell them apart. You can't really say which one is better than this one if they're both good. With Last Light and BioShock, it just came down to the fact that I like BioShock more than Last Light. Last Light looks pretty and all, but the story is kind of cockamamie and retarded. There's a few glitches. It's kind of unpolished at times, and the guns weren't very varied, and it has a lot of small issues. I mean, it's a great game, but I can point out issues. I can think of some pretty major issues with the game. The main one being the plot. The second one being that it's trying to constantly shove a message down your throat, and I don't like that in games. In BioShock, it flows so well. From start to finish, the game just flows. It just flows beautifully. It was one of the most flowing and just good game feel games in recent memory. I just loved it. I had a blast from start to finish. I loved just getting on the rails, sliding around, jumping down, hitting people, and then shooting them, getting back on the rails, and oh my god, it just flowed so well. I loved BioShock Infinite. And I didn't know that it was going to be one of those games that gets swept up in praise. Maybe it didn't deserve it, maybe it did. But in the end of the day, I loved the game, and that's why I gave it a 10. I also loved Metro Last Light. Not as much as Bioshock, but I liked it. That's why I gave it an 8 out of 10. An 8 is a good score. It's quite a damn good score, and they should be proud of an 8. They should be fucking proud of an 8. So, you can disagree with me all day long. I love it. I love it when people disagree with me. It's really cool to disagree with someone and still come to the same middle ground and say, I disagree with you, you disagree with me, and we're both okay with that. That's awesome. But when you leave a comment saying that my opinion is invalid or your opinion is better than mine, when you leave a comment saying that I'm just going with the crowd, that I like looked at someone else's review and I copied theirs, and I said, oh, if they're giving it an 8, I'm going to give it an 8. When you say stuff like that, I take that as an insult. And I frankly have no interest in having a conversation with someone that just says that my opinion is invalid. And I won't. I'm not going to delete your comment, but I'm not going to respond to it. I respond to every comment I get that is critical of me or not critical of me. But when it's insulting, when it's just, you know, bullshit, like just telling me your opinion is completely invalid because of this, this, and this. When it is degrading my opinion as a human being, I will probably usually ignore you because it's not worth the conversation. Sorry. Anyways, I thoroughly enjoyed doing this video, and I will probably do more question and answer videos in the future. If you leave your questions down below, I'll make a note of them. I'll also make a note of any questions that are added to that last video I did after the point at which I did this video. So I'll make a running list of questions, and when I'm next ready, I'll probably do another question and answer video. In addition, our other vloggers here on this channel will do videos like this one in the future. So I hope this one turns out well. I hope you liked the answers I give. But anyways, I'm signing off. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for watching. Cheers.